Welcome to my channel, The Drama Show. Fireworks of my heart. Hello friends, after being rescued, Eksu's life had been saved. Now, Eksu reaches the hospital and begins the work of saving others' lives. In an emergency here, a patient arrived with a very critical condition, and he urgently needed surgery. At that time, a senior surgeon was not available. However, if the procedure wasn't done right away, the patient's life couldn't be saved, while the other doctors kept advising Eksu against it. Eksu Kin said, "In my responsibility, I will perform the surgery right now. Otherwise, this person won't survive anyway." Here, Eksu often has significant conflicts with her competitor, Dr. Yang. However, in the end, it's Eksu Kin who performs the surgery, ultimately saving the patient's life. The patient also had a young daughter who was in shock and kept recalling her father repeatedly. At that moment, Dr. Yang comforts the little girl because she was in shock and missing her father. As Dr. Eksu walks by them, it seems like she doesn't care, but in reality, she had observed the situation very closely, and she goes. In her room, she starts writing a report for that child, for whom she had referred to a psychiatrist for psychological therapy. Actually, she had done the best job she should have with her profession. And then, when the chief surgeon arrives there, Dr. Eksu gets a scolding from the chief surgeon. They tell her, "You may have done all this to save his life, but it was very risky. You can't be this emotional every time. And this time, you were very lucky." Dr. Eksu wanted to explain herself, but her chief surgeon left in anger. Eksu Kin was quite introverted, and that's why her team hadn't really become friends with her yet. They were all pleased that she had made the decision herself, and now she had received a scolding from the chief. On the other hand, Eksu Kin didn't care much. She was just drying Song's jacket and keeping it safe. Song was back on vacation at his home again. Then we see Meow. She had invited some of her friends over for dinner at her place. Actually, dinner was just an excuse. She only wanted to introduce her brother to new girls in the hope that someone would capture his heart. Now, she goes upstairs and starts coaxing Song, saying, "You're so handsome. My friends just want to have a meal with you once." At first, Song gets quite angry, saying, "I'm not some showpiece or a monkey you can flaunt to make others happy." But eventually, he has to agree to his sister's request. And at that moment, we are shown Song's parents, where we discover that they are not actually Song's real parents. Indeed, Song is an adopted son. His biological father passed away one day, and he started living with his adoptive parents. They harbor resentment toward his mother, feeling like she abandoned her son, as if she didn't love him at all. And then she went overseas. Even today, whenever Song's parents think about his mother, it makes them very angry. Now, they believe that Song will have to find a way to forget that girl somehow and move on. Maybe Meow's idea will work. And then we find out here. So, among Meow's friends, there's also Yizi. She is the same waitress we saw last night working part-time at Xiao's bar. Her appearance resembled Eksu Kin's a bit, and she was similarly shy and reserved. Song had also noticed this. After dinner, Meow goes up to her brother's room and says, "I noticed that your gaze went to my best friend, Yizi, 3 or 4 times. She's very sweet. If you want, she could become my sister-in-law. I would be very happy." But here, Song grabs Meow by the neck and applies a lock, making it clear that he won't release him until Meow apologizes. Meanwhile, we see Eksu Kin, who has gathered a lot of information about Song through Xiao. Xiao informs her that Song is currently on vacation and has gone home. Su Kin decides to visit his house, and they meet at the doorstep. She tells him, "I came to return your jacket and also wanted to say thank you for rescuing me." Song says, "All of this doesn't make any sense. What can you give me in return for thanks? Will you marry me?" Upon hearing these words, Eksu's heart races, and she was about to say yes immediately. But suddenly, Song says, "Do you think that I still have you in my heart today? Many years have passed, and I've forgotten about you. There's no shortage of girls like you lined up in front of me. Song's words indicate that he has moved on from his past feelings for Eksu and isn't interested in rekindling their relationship. Here, Eksu-kin becomes very sad, but she still gathers the courage to ask Song if they can rekindle their relationship and become the way they used to be. However, Song firmly rejects her, stating that he has moved on and forgotten her over the years. Afterward, we see that when Song is at work, he shares with Soo that he always wants his fire station to be number one, and he never wants to be second. In his eyes, coming in second place is equivalent to failure, and that's why he is so strict with all his trainees, because he seeks perfection in everything. I had seen Song undergo a lot of hardships. Perhaps that's why he has become very tough and strict. A few days later, when Dr. Eksu was at work, she found out that there was a seminar at 2:00. It was a 2-hour seminar, and someone new from her team had to attend it. But everyone wanted to avoid it. However, Eksu-kin hears that it's related to fire rescue, so Eksu immediately thinks, what if Song is here? She immediately goes to attend the lecture, and Officer Lee was there to give the lecture. She delivers a 2-hour lecture on fire rescue, while at the same time, Song was undergoing training, and his colleagues were teasing him. They say, we find that doctor very dear to us. She's so beautiful. Whenever we have any minor injuries, we'll go to her for treatment. Song understood that they were teasing him. He tells them, I'll injure you right now so you can go there. He's quite angry with the way they kept teasing him. Meanwhile, when Officer Lai's presentation ends, a photo of her department is shown, where Officer Song was standing with her. Upon seeing this, some of the nursing staff pause and start saying, I think he's your boyfriend. You both look very good together. Then Dr. Eksu also approaches Officer Lee and starts asking about Song. Here, she finds out that Song is one of the best officers in the fire rescue department. Eksu starts feeling jealous and suspicious of any potential relationship between Officer Lee and Song. One day, while Dr. Eksu was on duty and her team was about to go home, they receive an emergency call. They find out that a major accident has occurred on the highway, and they need both an ambulance and a lot of medical staff at the accident scene. Shu King quickly gets her team ready and rushes to the location. Here, we see that 3 or 4 cars had collided, along with some motorcyclists involved. When Eksu-kin arrives at the scene, she notices Song right there. Here, they come face to face again. Both of them focus on their respective tasks. On one side, Song excels in his work, while on the other side, Dr. Eksu is doing her best to save lives. A car had fallen into the water below the highway, making the rescue operation extremely challenging because it was firmly stuck. The driver was also trapped inside. Initially, they try to lift the car, and then they have to cut through the car's roof to rescue the person inside. Now, the patient was in a lot of pain and needed a doctor. Dr. Eksu arrives at the scene and starts administering a drip to the patient. As they attempt to lift the patient, Eksu is about to collide with a sharp part of the car, but Song arrives just in time and gets injured while saving her. Seeing this, Eksu's heart melts. When their mission is complete, Eksu follows Song and tells him that he needs to go to the hospital with her. However, Song doesn't agree. At that moment, Officer Suo appears and scolds Song, sending him with the ambulance for a checkup. When Song arrives at the hospital, Dr. Eksu instructs him to remove his shirt for treatment. However, Song insists, I want to change the doctor. Then, Eksu says everyone is busy. You have no choice, just like I didn't have a choice the day you rescued me from the car. Hearing this, Song falls silent and removes his shirt. Song was in considerable pain, but he still gets his stitches without anesthesia. Now, Eksu-kin applies a bandage to Song and says, you'll have to come regularly to get your bandage changed. Actually, this meeting was just an excuse. Song understands this too. That's why he starts asking Zhu directly, why are you doing this after all? Why do you want to meet me again? Why do you want to revive our relationship? Is it so you can have fun and then leave me again when you get bored? Song was speaking to her with a lot of anger. In response, Iksu-kin tells him. You're acting as if you've forgotten me all these years, but you haven't at all. It's clear to me that you repeatedly helped me, saved my life. I can see that I'm not just a victim to you. For a little while now, the song goes silent. And then he says, it's only because of this, because you're a bit different from other cases, because I used to love you once. These words pierce X-Quin's heart like an arrow. And this is where this part ends. If you liked this video, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, The Drama Show. And don't forget to press the bell icon so that you stay updated on upcoming videos. Until then, goodbye and take care. Thank you for watching.